Hello all YouTubers, I'm the Weather Dude. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for tuning back into this weather presentation for June 27th, 2020. Before I get on with today's video, however, I would ask that every single one of you please smash that subscribe button and ring the bell notifications. Thank you guys so much for 600 subscribers. Let's get to our next goal of 700 subscribers and to our next long-term goal of the big 1,000. So please smash that subscribe button and ring the bell notifications, as well as watching the whole video. Both of these things really do support my channel, and watching the whole video, it's a win-win. You get the best weather content and I get the watch time, which I really do need for my channel. And please also like and share this video. Thank you. Now let's get on with today's video. So today we're going to be talking about, we're basically going to be talking about the enhanced Fujita scale, kind of explaining it to you guys. This is my second video in the explanation video series. If you didn't see the first one, that is on the top right of your screen. I explained the Saffir-Simpson hurricane scale. Today, we're going to be explaining the enhanced Fujita tornado scale. I apologize, guys. I've been having some software issues lately. It was really not letting me record, and I had to switch to a temporary software, which is what I used in my last two videos, if you guys watch those. And hopefully everything is working fine this time. That's why my upload is being a little sporadic, but hopefully everything is getting back to normal now. So I apologize for that. But today, we're going to be taking a look at the enhanced Fujita scale, kind of explaining it to you guys and what you need to know. And also some tornado safety tips, and this is about tornadoes, and the last one was about hurricanes. Alright, so enhanced Fujita scale, so EF0 tornadoes is the lowest level tornado there is. It goes from EF0 to EF5. Just keep in mind that even though it's called EF0, it can still pack a punch with winds of 65 to 85 miles per hour, which is what you would see in basically like a high-end tropical storm or like a low-end Category 1 hurricane. So still some, some pretty strong winds. Usually the tornado damage, though, is pretty light. EF1 tornado, we see winds of 86 to 110 miles per hour, and that's when we start to see more moderate damage, because in terms of hurricanes, that's pretty much about a high Cat 1 to about a Cat 2. All right. EF2 tornadoes, all right, and I'm going to be also showing you guys pictures of tornadoes from each category and the damage that they can produce from each category, so you guys will be able to see, what these tornadoes can look like sometimes and what damage can they cause. So stick around for that as well. But EF2 tornadoes usually have the winds of about a Category 3 hurricane, winds of 111 to 135 miles per hour, and they can do some more considerable damage. We're a little bit higher on the damage scale now. All right, EF3, all right, can have some very strong winds as well. Potentially, the winds in the EF3 tornado can get, we can see winds equivalent to a Category 4 hurricane, and this is when we start to see that severe damage. All right, even starting at EF1, the tornadoes can be very serious. 100-mile-an-hour winds, that's very strong wind here. All right, and EF4 tornadoes, we see, this is when we start to see the winds get to that Category 5 hurricane category, which is the EF4 tornado. Then once the winds get above 200 miles an hour, that is a Category 5. Just imagine 200 miles per hour. So think about how fast it is. Basically, like cars going, pretty much like the cars at NASCAR, I'd say about that fast. That's about how strong these winds of the tornado are. All right, and the damage can be incredible. Just absolutely just destructive. All right, so we're going to take a look now, starting with, I actually started with EF1. I couldn't find too much for EF2, so we're going to start at EF1 and make our way up to EF5. Because EF0 typically doesn't do too much damage anyway. All right, so here's our EF1 tornado example. And as you can see, it looks like a classic smooth, very, I'd say, somewhat organized tornado. All right, it's not complete, it's not huge, it's not destructive, but it's something to look at. But you definitely, no matter what the category, EF0 to EF5, you definitely want to take shelter in that basement, even before tornado warning. Usually before tornado warning, sometimes the National Weather Service, depending on what area you live in, could possibly issue a severe thunderstorm warning before the tornado warning. If that happens, that gives you some extra time to prepare. Even if it's a severe thunderstorm warning, get to that basement, all right? Because the winds can still be very strong. Even the winds in a strong severe thunderstorm, you can see, winds in a severe thunderstorm, not a tornado, non-tornadic winds of 80 miles an hour. If it's straight line winds, that's about as strong as the EF0 tornado. So even if we don't have a tornado, we can still have straight line wind damage that can get as strong as that. All right, so this is our EF1 tornado here example. Let's look at our EF1 tornado damage. This is obviously, the damage isn't from this tornado, but this is what EF1 tornado. This house is basically destroyed here. All right, we got the garage basically pretty much popping out. We've got, I mean, the roof, I don't know if you guys can see that. The roof up here is just completely torn off. All right, there's some debris scattered around, looks like in the front yard, and it's just not a pleasant sight. All right, like I said, it's not destructive damage. It's not, the house isn't flattened, but you can, I mean, that is EF1 damage, and amazingly, the car wasn't actually damaged, which is a very good thing. All right, next is EF2. Now, is this what every EF2 tornado is going to look like? No. I'm sure once the funnel actually touched the ground, I'm sure this would look a lot better, but there's your tornado. All right, and again, the winds of the EF2 tornado can get above 111 miles an hour, which is a Category 3 hurricane. And this is what EF2 damage can look like. All right, I don't know if this is like a shed, all right, but apparently the remnants of a shed or building, whatever this was pretty much torn apart completely. All right, so this is some pretty serious damage as well. All right, EF3 tornado. Obviously, it was a little bit darker when this picture was taken, but you could definitely see that wedge coming down, the little dust bowl developing around it. So this is a very organized tornado. You can see all the black around it. So this looks like a pretty strong tornado here. And what can EF3 tornado damage do? We'll take a look. All right, AT&T building absolutely destroyed. I mean, depending on what, the roof looks like it's gonna fall on her. All right, obviously depending on the angle, it's actually not, but you can see that the damage is just scattered all over the place. All right, there's pieces of building all over the place. Obviously, I don't know if it looked like a piece of roof because I can see on the ground right here. Obviously, a piece of roof, and that's just sitting on top of the building there, and someone's about to collapse. But you can see, maybe like I said, this depends. Did the EF3 tornado directly hit this building? Did it, just skip it? Or did it just skim of the building? These are all factors that we have to take into consideration. But judging by the looks of it, the EF3 tornado looks like it took a near direct hit, and trust me, it doesn't look pleasant. You can actually see a piece of tree or bush over there. Probably looks like it was from at least 1,000 yards away. So this that's another thing too. When you were in a tornado, all right, and then the tornado, like let's take an example here, plywood. They can hurl plywood at you. Imagine if you have 100-mile-an-hour winds and that plywood's getting hurled at you. Trust me, it will hurt. Possibly even kill you. Just be all serious this here. Tornado can fling kinds of objects around. Now, if the tornado was just flinging, like, let's say the tornado picked up a mattress. I wouldn't mind getting hit by a mattress because at least a little bit more comfortable. But tornado can pick up a lot of serious, destructive objects like plywood. And plywood, not very harmful, but when it gets hurled around at high speeds, it becomes a dangerous object. Becomes a dangerous hazard. All right, so next one, EF4. As you can see, EF4, EF5 tornadoes tend to be very wide. All right, this one is a huge EF4 tornado. It's like a monster here. All right, it's not just one narrow funnel. It's a wide beast. That's hundreds of yards wide. It could even be a mile wide. Some of them can be. All right, but especially EF5s can even get up to a mile wide. But this particular tornado is an EF4. It looks like it's over a field here. Again, the damage here isn't correlated to this picture, but this is what EF4 tornado damage can look like. And yeah, you can see the building is basically completely flattened. Everything inside it just looks sprawled all over the place. There's tree branches here. All right, obviously this is the foundation of the building right here, whatever's left of it. All right, but you can even see the building next to it. I don't know if that's the same building or the building next to it. That also looks destroyed. Now, like I said, the damage isn't from this tornado, but I'm saying EF4 tornadoes can do some very serious damage. Even EF3 tornado, I'd say it pretty much only takes an EF2 or EF3 tornado to potentially flatten a house, like completely, like you're shown here. This looks like more like a bigger, sturdier house, but EF4 tornado can do some very serious damage. Remember, the winds are getting above Category 5 hurricane wind strength at some point. Now keep in mind that the winds are not going to be blowing for 166 miles an hour. It won't be blowing for hours like a hurricane, but you can do some very serious damage still. It doesn't take much. The damage can be done in an instant. It doesn't take much time for the tornado to do its damage here. Now, our last example is the EF5 tornado. Then we're going to go over some safety tips real quick. As you can see, it's basically like a wedge. It's what we call it. I think it's called like a wedge tornado. Some of these can be very wide. All right, and you can see the dark clouds extend for miles and miles. All right, but this is a very, very wide tornado. All right, and this photo was provided courtesy of Aaron Maxwell. Nice little caption there. All right, but this is the EF5 tornado again, and you can see where a lot of these happen in these plains and like in these fields. And that's where these tornadoes can really develop. But am I saying that a tornado cannot hit the city? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they have more of a tendency to hit those more plain fields. And here is the damage that you can see from EF5 tornado. You might be thinking, oh, okay, it doesn't look like much. All right, well, let's look a little closer here. This building almost damaged. This one flattened. This building flattened here. All these buildings, okay, I mean, I'm not saying they're all pretty far from each other, but all these buildings are somehow damaged. Think about it. The tornado can only be so wide, right? That's what you might be thinking, but no. These 3-4 rows of houses all got damaged. This row, this row, this row have some kind of damage, or they have some kind of debris laying in their yard. So that's how wide these EF5 tornadoes can be. They can do even more damage than an EF4, and the coverage is just so much more widespread. All right, you can even see at the bottom of your screen, even like the 5th row of houses here, or the 4th row of houses. I mean, you can see there is some damage there, at least some debris laying over there. You see another house is damaged here. There's a lot of cars sitting out. So, again, the coverage, I mean, it's just insane. Like, it feels like an EF2 tornado. Maybe we saw damage to this row or this row here, but not all 4 rows at the same time. All right, so that's how widespread and how much, coverage these tornadoes can cover, how much ground they can cover. So, some tornado safety tips. I mean, I saw a tip earlier which made a very good point. Wear those safety goggles. I don't care if you're in your basement. Wear those knee pads, wear those elbow pads. You might laugh, all right? But when that tornado comes, when and if that tornado comes, all right, you're definitely going to have it. It's definitely going to be in handy. But definitely want to wear those safety goggles here. Stay away from those windows. Go to a basement, interior room. That's pretty obvious, in the lowest floor. All right. If you don't have a basement, get under some sturdy furniture or get in your bathtub. Whatever you do, don't get in a room that's close to windows. Don't get close to windows. Go in an interior room that is away from the windows and basically in the center of your house. That's your best bet. Whether it happens to be a bathroom there, whether it's a small closet, just get in there if you don't have a basement. If you have a basement or a storm shelter, those are your number 1 place to go. But the number 2 place is the basement. All right, so also want to abandon those cars and mobile homes. You want to get some sturdier shelter because a mobile home, I don't care if it's a EF0 or an EF5 tornado, a mobile home will not be able to withstand. I mean, even an EF0 will do some pretty decent damage to a mobile home. All right, a car, not a good idea to ride out a tornado. That car will get picked up. You'll get rolled around in there, and God knows what else could happen in there. All right, so you definitely want to seek some sturdier shelter, whether it's like whatever shelter you find nearby, whether it's a house. Don't duck under an underpass. That is a very common mistake. Don't get under a tree because you could get struck by lightning, or picked up by a tornado. All right, I'm not doing this to scare you guys. Just trying to keep you guys safe. Trying to explain to you the enhanced Fujita scale and what really can happen in these kinds of tornadoes. So those are your safety tips for tornadoes. Obviously, hopefully you guys are getting smarter, and hopefully you guys, if you're ready to bell notifications, stay tuned for my future cover severe weather videos because those videos really do need their views and watch time. All right, if you guys want, you can actually check out my severe weather coverage playlist if you want to check out some more severe weather videos. But as I provide more severe weather coverage videos for you guys, hopefully you guys will know all the safety tips and how to take shelter and everything. So thank you guys for watching today's video. I'm the Weather Dude signing off. Till next time, thank you guys for watching.